everybody likes nice guys and nice guys always win, right? Well, no. Hello guys, my name is Relo and welcome back to my YouTube channel. And in this video, I am going to be telling you about the habits that you need to stop as a nice guy. You know, you need to change from being a nice guy to a gentleman because there's a difference. So in a literal sense, a nice guy is somebody who's going to be all compassionate, who's going to be gentle, understanding, caring. However, there's a difference between a nice guy in a sense of they're using their niceness to get a woman, and a guy who's going to be using his niceness where it's needed, you know. So basically, I'm not saying that you need to be mean to women. I'm not saying that you need to be all some rude guy and all that. No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that there's a difference between a nice guy and a gentleman. So a gentleman is a guy who's gonna basically, or a man who's gonna basically have all those qualities, the good qualities, like for instance, gentle, understanding, compassionate, and all those things, right? And then whilst adding to that, they know exactly when to be nice to somebody. They don't just be nice because they have an ulterior motive or anything of that sort. So in this video, I'm going to be giving you some habits that I believe every nice guy out there needs to stop, because the reality is, by just giving those sort of definition and examples of a nice guy and a gentleman, I'm sure by now you know exactly who you are or where you stand, and you know if you're watching the right video or not. So without wasting time, here are the habits that you need to stop as a nice guy. Okay, so first and foremost, without wasting time, the first habit that every guy who is nice out there, every nice guy needs to stop is basically they need to stop being people pleasers. You know, a nice guy is gonna basically go out of his way to please somebody that they know or somebody that they don't even know, regardless of how it's going to affect them. Like for instance, on a daily they wake up and they'll think, oh, you know what, who am I going to please today? If let's say for instance they have a tight schedule, let's say for instance you're a student, for example, and you have a tight schedule, and then someone comes to you, you're studying or whatever you're doing, and then they're like, oh hey, can you please do 1 2 3 for me? And I'm talking about in a sense of you're a guy, and then a girl comes and says that you are gonna go out of your way to drop everything that you're doing, drop your own academics, drop literally your life comes to a stop simply because someone else is asking for help or asking for assistance. Whereas a gentleman is gonna be like, you know what, I understand that you need assistance with 1 2 3. However, I'm currently busy with 1 2 3. Or I'm currently busy in general, you know, and they don't need to explain themselves any further. So as a nice guy, you need to stop being a people pleaser. You know, I'm gonna do 1 2 3 because I want whoever and whoever to like me. I understand that doing things for family members or for friends and you know your partner and stuff like that is something that you can do. However, you need to know why you're basically doing something for somebody, you know. So stop being a people pleaser. If it's if you can just, yeah, so you need to stop being a people pleaser, because that is a very high indication of weakness. And the reality is that there's no woman out there who's going to want to be with a guy who is not who does not know how to stand their ground, you know, who does not know how to put themselves first, who does not know how to manage themselves, you know. So yeah, that's the first habit that you need to stop being a people's pleaser. Moving on to the second habit that you need to stop. Okay, so habit number 2 that you need to stop as a nice guy is that you need to stop agreeing with everyone and everything that is said out there. That is a sign of weakness and a lack of backbone, you know. So basically what I'm saying is that everybody is entitled to having their own personal opinion, you know. Like if you feel like something is not in line with what you believe or you don't agree with it, just say it. You know what, I don't agree with 1 2 3, and then from there it's a sign that shows that you're not there to please anybody, and also you're not afraid of being disliked by anybody, because there's a thing, you know, like if you're not afraid of being disliked by anybody, it means that you value yourself, you respect yourself, and also you respect other people out there, because being nice doesn't necessarily mean that you respect everybody. You know, sometimes you can have ulterior motives in the back, at the back of your mind or something like that, hidden motives. So you need to stop agreeing with everybody and everything that is said. Have your own opinion, have your own, obviously I'm not saying go around disagreeing with everyone that you go past. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that if it comes to it, if it comes to a point whereby you're involved in a conversation or in a situation whereby now it requires you to do something that you do not agree with, you need to stand up for yourself and say, you know what, I do not agree with 1, 2, 3, and then from there you assess the situation and do it how you believe is the right way to do it. I'm not saying be a hot-headed person who does not listen, but I'm saying that you need to understand that you're entitled to your own opinion as a person. Okay, so habit number 3 that every nice guy out there needs to stop is you need to stop saying yes to everything. And I'm gonna give you an example to explain this specific situation or scenario. For instance, let's say for instance you and your partner, you and your girl decide to go out on a date, right? And then you initially plan to say, on this date, I'm gonna only spend 2,000 rands, right? 2K is maximum that I'm gonna spend. You are a student, so obviously you saved up to have that 2K. So, and then now it comes to a point whereby you're there and you're ordering and all that, and you have reached your limit. You know, you have reached your limit that you initially intended to spend on the restaurant or on activities, and now you're just left with money for transportation and stuff like that. A nice guy is gonna be like, okay, she's gonna keep on ordering, and then the next guy is gonna be like, oh, okay, cool, he's gonna keep on paying regardless of how it's basically destroying him in terms of his budget, in terms of his pocket in general, right? And a gentleman, the difference is that a gentleman is gonna be like, you know what, I plan to spend 2K. So if you wanna spend on anything else outside of that specific budget, then you need to pay for it yourself. You know, that is saying something, knowing very well that, you know what, you can hate me, you can love me, bottom line, I can stand for myself. I don't allow myself to be used by the person that I love or by anybody, because sometimes you're used without even knowing that you're being used, right? So you need to stand up for yourself, because there's a difference. And also you need to understand that in this world, the world is tough and people can use you. People can use you for anything. Like, women can use you for anything. So if you're gonna be in a relationship with somebody, or you're trying to get to be with somebody, let's say for instance you go out with your crush or something like that, and now you're at a position whereby you're talking to them and you decide to go on a date. Like I said, if you follow the steps in the previous videos, then obviously you know how to go about that. And now you're at this restaurant and all that, and now you've reached your budget. You just gotta speak up and say, you know what, I intended to spend 1, 2, 3 for this specific amount of money, and I can't go any further. So I'm really sorry, but I can't do 1, 2, 3. That is the one thing that you need to keep in mind when it comes to stopping being a nice guy. You need to know that you need to have a limit when it comes to what you can and cannot do. Okay, so now we're moving to point or habit number 4. Looking at habit number 4, you need to understand that you do not owe anyone an explanation. You know, for doing anything or for deciding to participate in anything. Like for instance, again, if it comes to a position whereby you are busy preparing, let's say for instance for a test, or you're preparing for a meeting, or you're preparing for whatever, and someone comes to you and says that I need you to do 1, 2, 3 for me, or let's go out. Something so simple as let's go out in group. You know, you need to understand that in that specific situation, you can simply say no, and you can move forward. You know, you're not entitled, that person that is asking you is not entitled to receiving an explanation from you. So you don't owe anyone an explanation out there. So you need to stand up for yourself without having to explain yourself. If you firmly believe that you are not available for something, you don't want to do something, or you don't believe that that is the right way of doing things, stick with it. Be a firm believer of your decision-making process and believe in yourself, you know. So you don't owe anyone an explanation. You don't have to say, I can't go on this and this and this simply because now I have to study, or I have to go prepare for a meeting or anything of that sort. That is something that is going to turn off whichever woman you're basically trying to pursue. So if you want to have a woman in your life, you just got to stop being that nice guy. If you are that nice guy, and of which I believe if you're watching this video, then definitely you are one, you need to stop all that. Otherwise, you know what they say, nice guys finish last. It's that's the truth. It's facts. So yeah, that is point number 4, and now I'm gonna move on to point or habit number 5. Okay, so habit number 5 is you need to know where to draw the line. Like when it comes to your own personal life, you need to understand that you are the manager, you are the boss of what happens in your life. No one is going to no one is supposed to tell you what to do, basically. Of course, I'm not saying that be disrespectful when you're in a class and then a lecturer tells you what to do, or at work and the boss tells you. No, I'm saying that in a sense of a woman or anybody for that matter, because I'm talking about this in a sense of this is what women are going to observe, and they're going to see that, you know what, this is just a nice guy and I can't be with a nice guy, because nice guys, the problem with them is that they are emotionally too independent in terms of their emotions and stuff like that. They're too reliant on emotions, whereby you find a gentleman or a bad guy, if I can just call them that, they are so detached from their world. Basically, they understand that they have their life, and regardless of how many people they have in their life, it doesn't matter, because they are actually the leader of their own life. So when it comes to being a nice guy, you need to learn to stop this thing of not having a boundary. You need to have a boundary as a person. If that boundary is being crossed, you need to put it out there. For instance, I'm gonna give you an example. Let's say, for instance, you organize a date with a beautiful girl that you have been wanting to meet up with. Let's say, for instance, you really want to have a relationship with her at some point. You organize a date with her, something as simple as what? Let's go and eat out, And the day comes for you guys to go on that date, and then she goes to you. She doesn't say anything. She just goes silent, and she comes back after, let's say, for instance, the day is over, and she's like, hey, I'm sorry, 1, 2, 3. I need to tell you something. Even if her reasons are as convincing as possible, you need to understand that, you know what, she crossed the line. That's obviously if being respected is one of the ultimate things that you demand from people, So you need to understand that she crossed the line. She disrespected you. She disrespected your time. She disrespected everything about you. So you need to come out to her and tell her straight up that, you know what, this and this I do not appreciate. So the next time when it comes to you and her organizing, let's say, for instance, a date or something like that, she's gonna be on some understanding that if I do this guy is just not gonna just stay for my bad behavior, or for my bad communication, or for my whatever the case might be. She needs to understand that you are ready to walk out the door anytime, and not because you're pretending to, but because you're genuinely ready to walk out the door because there's certain things that every person needs. Like for myself, I cannot live without being respected. If I am going to be on some disrespected all the time, I know eventually I'm gonna be like, you know what, I'm cutting it there, drawing the line, basically. So when it comes to you need to know where you draw the line, and you need to know things that you can tolerate and things that you can't tolerate. And if anybody crosses that line, it doesn't matter who, you need to call them out and tell them that, you know what, this I do not appreciate. Something gotta change. And if they continue, you need to be ready to walk out of that. Otherwise, in the first place, the girl that you're basically trying to pursue or trying to be with, she doesn't respect you. She definitely does not matter, bro. And she does not even deserve to be in your life in the first place. Okay, so those are the I think it's 5 habits that every nice guy out there needs to stop. And by making those changes, you might find out that obviously you're not going to become perfect in the snap of a finger, but with time, as you grow and as you learn as a person, you're going to start having those traits that a gentleman basically has. And that is all that you need basically to have any woman out there that you want to be with, because the reality is, gents, it's all about your game as a gent. If you want to get a woman, it's all about what you do as a gent, how you behave, how you act and stuff like that. The difference or the thin line between a nice guy and a gentleman is that a gentleman, when a woman sees a gentleman, she sees mystery. And when a woman sees a nice guy, she's going to be seeing, you know what, this one I can just toss around. I can just play around with him. And if I say jump, he's going to say how high. If I say come here, he's going to run to me. If I say spend on me, he's going to be on some spending. That's the thin line between a gentleman. Whereas a gentleman is going to be like, you know what, why should I do 1, 2, 3? Oh, I'm not comfortable doing 1, 2, 3. Oh, I don't want to do 1, 2, 3. And if she does something that is out of line, is willing to call her out and say, you know what you did, what you're doing is out of line. So that's a difference, and that is why bad boys always get the girls. That is why, as a nice guy, you never get the girls. Your method of saying I'm gonna be nice, I'm gonna pretend to be nice simply because I want to basically be with her or wanna date her, and I have this dream relationship whereby I'm gonna be married to her someday, I'm gonna be fantasizing. No, leave that for the ladies, gents. Leave that for the ladies. Stop fantasize, stop thinking about marriage, stop thinking about all of that. Leave that for the ladies, because thinking about all that is just gonna make you make a lot of errors when you're pursuing that girl. Of course, I did make a video on how you can pursue a girl and stuff like that. And I think if you watch that video, I believe if you watch that video, it's gonna assist you in getting that crush. It's gonna assist you in getting that girl that you've been really, really admiring from a distance. Obviously not stalking, but admiring from a distance. So yeah, thank you guys for watching this video. I really appreciate you guys. Do not forget to subscribe, leave a comment in the comment section if there's anything you don't agree with or anything that you feel like I could have added, and also do not forget to subscribe and leave a like. Thank you guys. I'll see you in the next video.